4 more cool apps. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. So here we go again. I have 4 more cool apps that you want to see and want to use on your Mac over here. Now, if you've watched my channel, I did 2 videos, I think, over the last couple weeks. One is right here, where I showed you 5 cool apps. And then another one is going to be right here as well, and I showed you 5 more. Today is only 4 because one of them takes a little bit longer, but they're super cool. The first 2 are going to be super useful. The third one's really for tinkerers. If you like to tinker, it's awesome. It's really cool. And then the fourth one is completely not needed, but super fun. So just sit back and relax. Let's go through all the apps right now, starting with number 1. Okay, so maybe you just downloaded macOS Tahoe, and you'll notice one thing. The LaunchPad is gone, all right? The LaunchPad, I love the LaunchPad. I hate this new apps thing. Maybe you're the same way. Well, I found a way to bring it back. It's super easy and super cheap, all right? Take a look at my screen over here. So currently, if you do macOS Tahoe, you're gonna notice that they have, instead of the LaunchPad, they're gonna have this applications over here. So I don't like this. It's too small for me. It scrolls down like this. You got a couple options in here like this. You can list it or use a grid, but I don't like the way this is. I wanna bring back that old LaunchPad. So how do I do it? Right over here. Okay, so here it is right here. It's called Launch OS. It says the Launchpad you know, refined for Tahoe. See that? Took Tahoe, took it away, we're bringing it back. So here it is right here. Really quickly down here, I just want to kind of give you full disclosure. All these apps are going to be under 10 bucks one time. So take a look. It's basically a single device is $5.48. You got to support these kind of people because these are pretty cool apps, all right? It's $5. It's like a cup of coffee right now, right? Anyways, this is what it's called. Let me just show you what it does, and then we'll come back in a second. So basically, it does exactly what it says. You install it, and now look down here. Okay, so if I go down here, you can see it's right here, Launch OS. It's going to be next to the old one over here, the apps one. So I'm going to click on Launch OS now. And you can actually remove the old one when you want to. You just right-click on it, remove it from dock. Just leave this one here, this brand new one that I installed. So it's called Launch OS. Click on it, and look what happens. You got the LaunchPad. It looks exactly like the LaunchPad. I can scroll like this, just like I could before. Everything's perfectly alphabetical order. You can change this up as well, but you can do searches really quickly. Let me just do black magic. Look at that. It comes up really quickly. If you click on it, it'll click off just like the old LaunchPad did. So in a nutshell, it's the old LaunchPad exactly the way you want it, and it costs you $5. Now, there's a couple different options in here. If you go up to the top up here, see this little icon up here? You can go ahead and click on this. It's going to bring up the LaunchPad, but if you right-click on it, you can go ahead into here. It says Settings. See it right there? Now, the problem that I did is this is $5 per machine, or it's like $10 for all your machines. Basically, I did it on my machine that I use over there, so I didn't want to pay for it twice on this one just to show you, so I don't have all the features on this one. But still, let me just go through them. So here's the General tab. You can have this start at Login. You can have some hotkeys. You can actually have the hot corner. Again, once you pay for it, you'll actually have access to this. This means when you go to the left corner, you can actually have it launch. I do that all the time. It's kind of like a hot corners with this actual launcher. You can also do a trackpad gesture here, and if you can do something on your trackpad, it'll launch it as well if you want to do that. It's also got down here show menu bar and icon. That's going to be basically up here, so you can just uncheck it if you don't want to be, if you don't want to show it up here in the menu bar. You can change the way it looks here as far as the icon as well. The interface too, you can sort by, so you can custom sort these things. So if you don't want it alphabetically, you can sort by different ways to do it. Take a look in here. You can do by name, date added, last open, stuff like that. Browsing style, you can either do paged or scrolled. I'll show you that in a second. Here's the cool thing. You can do the icon grid. So you can change the icon grid to show a lot more apps or a lot less apps depending on what you want to do there. So if you want more apps on one screen, you can do it here as well. Fill empty slots. You can reorganize them. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here, including the system wallpaper. You can actually add your own wallpaper in here if you want behind it, or you can use the glass effect. Different things like that. So it's pretty cool overall. So the main difference is, let me actually shut this down. So let me just show you how. So basically you can use it that way, but you can also scroll up and down. Let me just show you that really quickly. Okay, so right over here, let me just show you really quickly. Here's where you can change it to scroll. Take a look at that. You can scroll up and down if you want. You can also change the grid style. I'll just show you an example of that as well. So you can have more in the grid. It's pretty straightforward. There's not much to learn here. If you want it, there it is, 5 something, and pick it up right now. Okay, for app number 2, this is one of those things that you use every so often, but when you need it, you really need it. Let me show you what it is. It's right over here. It's called USB connection information. You can search for that in the App Store. It's usually about $4.99. I already bought it, so it's not showing up there. $4.99 one time, so pretty inexpensive there. Help these developers out for sure. So what it does basically is there's a little icon up here. You can see it looks like a USB-A drive. If you click on that, it's going to give me some information about all the connections into my computer, including my power. but it's a little bit better than this. I'm going to show you why you would want this, but hold on one second. So it shows me that I'm connected at a 143 watt power adapter. With my Apple, I have obviously an iMac here. That's the connection coming in. You can see in here. This is actually going to be right here. This is going to be, I have a hub here. You can't see it. It's a little dock underneath my iMac. I'll show you a picture of it up, from a different angle, but it's sitting there. So that's actually showing me it's seeing this, and it's seeing the chip in there. It's seeing that it's a 10 gigabit per second hub, not a 40 gigabit per second, things like that. So it tells me the speed here. It's also giving me, it's got an Intel drive in there, 1 terabyte, and it does actually have a drive in there, so I can see that as well. But that's not really that important. It's also showing me that I have a wireless receiver in there. I have a dongle plugged in over there for like a keyboard or a mouse. I think it's my mouse one. And then down here I have this microphone, which I'm using right here, and it shows me the information on that and kind of the speed you're connected at and stuff like that, what it's using. So not that, right now it's not that impressive. But if you go over here to settings, let me just take a look. Now, the hub only shows you things that are connected to the hub, right? So it's only going to show you the ports that have something in it. But if you go into the actual settings in here, let me just show you. Here's the general settings. You can have it launch right at, login, which I don't usually do. You can have it in the menu bar. But if you go over to display, you can have it where it says show hubs here. You can turn that on, and it's going to show you all the ports that are on the hub and what the connection speeds are of those as well, even if you're not using them. So take a look here. I mean, there's some other things in here like show max support speed. That's what you want to do. And then you can go ahead and do this friendly product name, which I don't care about too much. So I'm just going to shut down the settings there. But now if I go back over here and I click on this, it's going to show me that I have like a USB 2.0 hub, USB 3.0. It's going to show me all the ports on that hub as well as the things that are connected, and also the hubs, the ports that are not connected in there, right? So it's going to show me everything on that and all the different connection speeds. That's not why you'd really want this. It's more for if let's say you're someone like me that has a million of these cables and stuff and a million of these enclosures, and you pick up the wrong cable or something, and you're starting to use it on your Mac, but you don't even know what you're doing. You're not running a black magic test, but you just want to know that you're connecting at the right speed, right? For instance, this is a Thunderbolt 5 enclosure, and I have a cable here that's obviously, first of all, this is not going to work on this system. That's a 10 gigabit per second hub. So when I plug this in down here, let me plug it in right now. I might think that, some people that don't know what they're doing might think that's going to connect at, Thunderbolt 5 speeds, really, really fast. But now I can see that when I go in over here, let me actually click on this again, and I go all the way down. Where does it say in here? Here it is, Thunderbolt SSD, but it's going to show me that the connection speed right here is only 10 gigabit per second, because even though I have a really fast external enclosure, in a fast cable, in this case, it's actually going to only be 10 gigabit per second because the bottleneck is the actual hub, right? So you can see what that's actually connected at. When I connect that into the back of the Mac, it's going to be a faster connection, of course. It's going to show me that as well because the Mac can take a faster connection. So this is all stuff for people who want to know. But beyond all of this, it's really for the cables. So if you mismatch a cable, you have maybe a Thunderbolt 4 enclosure, but you have a 10 gigabit per second cable, it's going to give you that information as well. It's going to give you all the information you need about everything connecting into it and all of your speeds. It's just something that is handy to have in a bind every once in a while when you want to see if things are performing correctly or you're doing tests on stuff. And overall, $5 for one time, I think it's a cool app. Tell me if I'm wrong. I like it. Support somebody and give them $5, and you'll be happy for a couple years for sure until the next version comes out. Okay, so for app number 3, I love this thing because I love the tinker. On Macs, you can't tinker maybe as much as you could on Windows PCs, so it kind of brings back some of those feelings, but it's also super powerful. So first of all, you've heard of actually, the thing that's built into macOS right over here. It's called text replacements. And if you click on this, it's right in here. Just type in replace, you'll see text replacements. Click right here. It's going to give you some options here. Like you could actually say OMW, and then if you type that in, it's going to say on my way. So you can actually say, replace this text with this, and you can actually add it to your macOS. So if you're usually typing in macOS and you go ahead and type something, it'll actually extend it to whatever you have to replace it with, all right? Pretty straightforward. The problem with that is it doesn't always work. Like it wasn't working on my Gmail. It doesn't work on some of the outside applications, but it's also not that powerful. You can just simply replace text and stuff. Well, there's another thing that's way more powerful. Let me just show this to you. It's really cool. Okay, take a look. I think this is called Espanzo. I'm just taking a guess at that name right there. It says supercharge your typing experience. You can download it right here. Now, this one's actually free. It's open source. You have to go to the website. I'll have links to all this stuff in the description, but here it is right over here, right? It says get started with macOS, all right? We're going to scroll down here. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a simple find and replace, but it's basically on steroids. So take a look. It's showing you some examples in over here. So you can actually say like today is, and then the date, it's going to give you the date. It replaces what you're basically typing, but you have a full power to go ahead and program whatever you want it to do. And I'm going to show you some examples here in a second. It's done a little bit differently when I say tinkering, so you got to kind of stay with me here for a second, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you some of the cool things you can do. So first of all, don't think this is too complicated, because it's actually really easy once you start using it. All right, so hold on one second. You're going to say, well, why would I do this? Trust me, it's really cool, and there's a whole bunch of there's a huge community out there as well. So take a look over here. Once you install it, you're going to get this little icon up here. Now you click on this, right? It's going to say disable and all this other stuff. But what you want to do is down in here, it's going to say open config folder. All right. So let me just show you what this does. This is once you install it, you want to go in here, open config folder. It's going to open up this folder over here. And it's going to say Espanzo. Usually it's going to be these three folders. Well, actually, I added the images folder. I'll show you that later. But it's going to usually be config and match is what you're going to see. Click on match. And then in here is this base.yml, right? And this is the file you want to open up. Double click it. It's going to open up right over here. Now this is the code that you actually want to go ahead and you can put anything you want in here to actually make Espanzo work, all right? Like, stay with me for a second. So if you look in here, this file is pretty easy. So for simple things like text replacement, you just simply copy this text here and then add what you want. For example, you can say, trigger, if I type my name, it's going to replace it with Craig Nidell, my full name. Or trigger, if I type ship, it's going to type a shipping address in there, right? Let me just show you what that means. But you can just basically, I can I can copy this and then paste another line in here. You want to make sure the spacing is exact and also it's case sensitive. But when you do that, you start fooling around with it. You can add, first of all, any text replacement easily like this. But this is not the power of it. But let me just show you it working. Before it wasn't working in Google, Gmail, like I said, but now it is. Okay, so I'm in Gmail over here. So like I just said, if I actually type in, colon and then Craig, right? It just replaces it with Craig Nidell, like I just said, all right? If I type colon now and ship, right, it just replaces it with my shipping address. That's not that crazy because you can kind of do that, obviously, with the find and replace built into the Mac. But it's pretty powerful here. I'm going to show you a couple other things in a second. That's just in a nutshell. I'm just kind of showing the basics here. So basically this file, there's a whole bunch of other things you can do I'm going to show you, but this is the file that you actually want to use. So once you actually type everything in here, you want to go ahead and just save this file over here. So you're going to go up to, actually, let me click on it. You're going to go to File, save it first, and then you can close it down. And then what you want to do is over here, you go back up to the icon here and you click on reload config. That's going to take everything that was saved and just reload that configuration file. So now all that stuff you added to it will be able, you'll be able to see it now. It'll actually start working. That's how you actually get using this. I just wanted to show you that. But let's talk about some of the advanced features now. It's really cool. Hold on, take a look. Okay, so if you go in here, it's going to have all this information under basics in here. Static matches. It's going to show you exactly what you have to type into that file that I just showed you to get certain things to happen, all right? But you can do things like multi-line expansions. Let's just keep scrolling. You can do dynamic matches in here. Now you'll have to go through I'm not going to go through all of this at the right now, but it's really cool. I mean, you have to just start fooling around with it because it's got a whole bunch of programs and stuff in here that allows you to do some really cool stuff. And I'm going to show you an example in a second. You can obviously grab the time, and I'll show you that in a second. All this really cool stuff, the dates, injection mechanisms, global variables. You can set up variables, word triggers. There's certain cool things like that. I know this is not meaning a lot to you right now. Special characters, you can go ahead and make sure it's very easy to type those in as well. But there's just so many different things you can do. Let me actually keep going down here. The one thing I wanted to show you next is going to be right over here. Even like image matches, see this? So the other one can't really do this. So if I want an image to come up, let me just show you what I mean over here. So let's go back over here. I'm going to go back to Gmail over here, and we're going to see if I can, this will make a lot more sense. So let's take a look. So now what I did is I programmed in there, I want images to come up depending on what I search or when I actually type in specific things. So I'm going to type in colon here, and I'm going to type in cat. And watch what happens. Instantly, it's going to bring up a cat image, all right? See that? So I actually programmed it to say, like, when I say, like, colon cat, it's going to bring up a certain image, but it could be any image you want or any map you want, anything you want built in. So it's not only text replacements, it can go ahead and actually add images as well. But it goes way beyond this when you start really getting into the programming. So let me just show you. So I actually did that. I'll go back over here. So what I had to do for that one over there when I added that image is if I go back over here and I open up this config folder in here, you're going to see, remember I said go to match in here? So I went in here and I opened this base. There it is right there. I'm going to open this up like this. All you have to do in here is, I don't know if you can see this in here, is it's all in the documentation, but it says right over here, here's the trigger colon cat, and then you just give it the image path, all right? Now in the documentation, it told me exactly, let me go back in here, it told me that I had to add this folder here called images, and then I just throw all my images in there, and then basically I just give the path to that, and it'll actually spit those out every time I type them in. But it can go well beyond that. I mean, obviously you can pull information from just about anything on your Mac. Let me go ahead and just do one last example here. Let me open this up. So even things like down here, actually let me just do it over here. So if I'm moving like this, I can go colon, date like that. And look at that. It changes the date right away for me. So like if you're typing and you just never want to, you don't know what the date is all the time, just once this is set up, it'll always work on any app that you're in on your Mac. Really cool. It's super cool to tinker with everything. A couple more things here. Okay, so you might say, well, if you create all of these kind of find and replacements in that list there, how do you remember them? Well, there's a shortcut over here. So it's Option Spacebar. Take a look over here, Option Spacebar. So anything that you create will go into this list in here. Like I said, I just showed you the date here. I showed you the cat that brings up the image. I showed you some other little kind of, the shipping one here as well. So there's a lot of cool things you can do in here, and you can search for them over here once you have a ton of them built in here. So all you have to do is do the Option Spacebar. It's going to bring up that list anytime you want to do find and replace. Well, it gets even better than that. There's so many custom things you can do in here. Let me bring this back open in here. Now you can do like emoji replacement, so you can replace all of your emojis. That's actually really cool. You can go ahead and type in like full, letters and stuff like that inside of here as well. So let's say you want to do business letters or thank you letters or sincerity letters, things like that. You can have them all pre-built into here in that list there. So it goes on and on with pictures, and maybe you want a picture for like a business card on your email. You can do that as well, and it works across everything. So super, super cool. I'm not going to get too much more into it. If you like to tinker, you just got to go in here, and there's a whole bunch of community things where communities have already set up all these things. You can download the packs of them, and then you can see what they've actually set up. They've already done thousands of them for you, and then you can go ahead and download those packs and use those by opening up that file and seeing exactly what's in there. Really, really cool stuff. Check it out, and I love to tinker. Okay, this fourth one is something you definitely don't need, but hear me out for a second. I tried it and I love this thing, all right? You're gonna say I'm crazy, but hold on. It's hard to try because there is a cost to it, but take a look over here. This is called Clack, K-L-A-C-K. It's around $5. You can see a 4.7 out of 5. People love this thing. So what it does is when you're typing, these keyboards can be kind of mushy and stuff like that. All it does is it adds like a mechanical keyboard sound to your keyboard, but it really is soothing when you're typing, and it gives you a whole bunch of different keystrokes or different types of keys like cherry reds and stuff like that as far as the sound of them. If you want the old computers as well, it's very, very just soothing, and it helps you type because you know when you've actually hit the letters. So let me just show you. Okay, so once you have it set up here, you can see this little K up here, and when it's like that, that means it's turned on. If I right-click on it, it's going to turn it off. See that? If I right-click it, it's going to turn on. I'm going to show you what it sounds like in a second. If I actually left-click it, it's kind of weird. If I left-click it, I can get into settings over here. But what you can do is you can go in here, and you can see in here, there's a couple things in here you can do. I'm not going to go through all the different things. You can take a quick peek in here. Let's take a look. So you can disable things and hide menus and shortcuts and stuff like that. That's not what's really important here. This thing just does one quick thing. The one thing I did want to show you though is in here, you can go into switches. See this? You can change to like Japanese black switches, crystal purple, Oreo switches. These are all different types of keyboard switches for all it's worth. And then you have a volume here as well. So we're going to go ahead and actually, let me just see here. The volume, I guess, is good. I don't know if you can actually see this or hear this. I'm going to try to see if you can hear it through the microphone, but it's just super soothing. Let me just show you my screen, and I'm going to start typing, and you're going to hear it. Okay, so take a look at my screen. Let me just go ahead and type something here. Hear that? Super soothing. So anytime you type here, hear that? I don't know if you guys can hear it on the microphone. It's maybe not picking it up correctly. Long story short, it's awesome. So what it does for me is it actually lets me realize if I'm kind of typing in, sometimes you don't know if you hit a key because it's mushy, sometimes the keys just don't feel right. This makes it feel like a mechanical keyboard. It's not, obviously. You're still going to get the same key travel, but it just helps you type, and it's very soothing for people that like it. All the different types of keys that you want in there as well, you can try them all different. They all have a different sound to them. Anyways, it's a completely useless app, I guess, for some people for sure. But for me, I tried it and I loved it, and I actually use it quite a bit when I'm typing long papers and stuff. For short stuff, I usually turn it off, but for everything else, it's really cool. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up. I only got 4 today for you, so post in the comments which one's your favorite here. Try them all. They're all really useful, and I know I took a long time kind of talking about some of these things, but overall, it's kind of hard, especially that third one, to get all the information about it, and I kind of went all over the place, so I apologize, but just give it a try. It's free. That one's actually free. The other 3 have a little small payment you have to do. Support these kind of places because they do these kind of cool apps, and, $5 is like a cup of coffee, and if you use them, even once a week or something, it's totally worth it. We will talk to you in the next one, all right? Let me know if you guys like these videos, and we have the Apple news coming out on the weekends. You'll see me in a couple days. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.